Alright, I hope you enjoyed the cool intro, and hope you like the new format. I haven't recorded one of these in a while, but I'm back, and I'm just gonna record these now. A bunch of things happened, and I didn't feel like making videos because it was sort of a weird, stressful period. I lost a friend, and yeah, it wasn't very fun, to be honest, but we're back, and I'm gonna record these videos, and they look a lot better now because I fixed everything and made it look as good as I can. I had to go in and change filters, and it was very boring. But we're gonna be looking at the toad today. I have the notes up this time, so it won't be as improvised. And I made notes for all these guys, which I'll link down below. And it's like a page with a bunch of notes on how I thought when I was making these, and the inspirations, and even a link to some of the art I used or took from in terms of some photo bashing. I don't know if I've linked any on here. I think I linked one, but yeah. So these pieces are super revolutionary for me, and we're looking at the toad, which is actually, I think, my favorite. It is not the most popular, but it was very, I think it was my first ever Reddit post with over 1,000 upvotes. Not that that means anything, really. It doesn't do anything, but it's still quite interesting. So, this guy, I mean, it's really obvious. It is Last of Us inspired. Last of Us 1. I'm not sure if Last of Us 2 is the same. I heard that one was not very liked, because there was a buff lady in it, and she apparently is very annoying. But other than that, I don't know anything about that. I really love The Last of Us. I love the art. I've never actually played the game because I watched YouTubers play it, and so there's really no point in me playing it because it's just like a story game. But the art is amazing, and they've got an amazing team, and I have such a love for the guys that kind of look like mushrooms, that have these like pus boils on them, and I believe those are in the second game. I think they're in the first game as well. And they have those funny heads that kind of look like that. And Dying Light even has a reference kind of to those guys in an elevator. You can find one. I'll put a picture on the side. And I really wanted to focus on, with this piece, on what they kept mentioning over and over. They kept mentioning it's been 15 years. So imagine what the zombies now look like in 15 years after all the mutating and changing. Because in Dying Light 1, at least I was going off what Dying Light 1 was. I've played that game so many times, and it's really subtle, but they mention it once or twice in the start section of the game, literally about this guy, the Toad, and your character, Crane, or whatever, says, Kyle Crane. Fuck it, that character is, he's just an action hero, but anyway, he's fun. Your character mentions, what are they, or whatever, and a character that I don't even know if is a main guy says that these new things keep popping up, and they seem to be mutating. And he talks about the toads and says that they weren't a thing a few months ago. And I believe he's talking about the toads, or he might be talking about the bolters. I'll put them as well. If so, I was just going off of that idea that these zombies are not going to stay stagnant, and they're going to evolve. Sort of like creatures, but much faster. And so the idea was, let's take that and make the toad way cooler. So I decided on the fact that the toad is a theme of like acid, and it's a theme of like, it almost looks like a human being transformed. I'm not sure I'm going to spell this word right. You know, I can't spell very well. And so I thought, what can we combine those to be? And I thought maybe we should have it be that these humans are being like taken over. And I wanted the idea that they have their face completely taken over, and it almost looks like this guy, or this guy, this once human, is kind of like being consumed. Again, kind of linked to Dark Souls because I do love Dark Souls. Yeah, so I really like that idea, and I actually think that this face looks so cool. The way that he's like, it's almost like he's like screaming. And I kind of like the idea that these guys are less annoying, because in the first game they are extremely annoying. They were my least favorite enemy type in gameplay, but in looks, I thought they looked great. I just hated that when there was more than one of them and they were just shooting, it was just like, oh man, it got really annoying. It was fine if you had a gun, but then if you shot a gun, then virals would come, and if you're playing on PC, it's no worries. I played the game on PC after years of always playing it on console, and it's like literally so easy. But on console, every single time I would shoot a gun and virals would come, I would just be annoyed because I'd get hit and I'd be like, oh god, this is getting really annoying. So one of the ideas that these guys are literally like decaying. They are like self-destructing, and when they go aggro, as like it says, that they basically self like implode, or they attack you at the cost of their own life, kind of like a bee with its stinger. And that's supposed to be a bee, by the way. I am a professional artist. And I wanted that theme. I really do like the way these look. I do think they have aged a little bit, but they're not as bad as I imagine they would look, considering these actually were only, I think, a year and a half ago. But I mean, you know what, if anything, that says I've made a lot of progress. And so this is the full body version now. These, I think, I'm very proud of, to be honest. I actually really like these, and considering I had just started trying to learn concept art properly and using photo bashing and using models and all these things, I think I did a pretty okay job blending and doing my best and using my skills that I had already learned with anatomy and so on, and then applying that, and also applying photo bashing. So the idea that I took from the first one was, I loved the theme of them being taken over, so Dark Souls. And as you can see, which I'm still impressed that I managed to make this look so good, I have his arm literally being taken over by veins, and you can see these veins going all through his arm as they lead up to what essentially has attached to his back, and it almost looks like some sort of boil that I would assume is just full of pus and so on. On here, I have put, once I got the base down, I wanted to expand on the infection, showing the mutations in the veins, arms, and legs, even showing newly developed gas-filled boils ready to burst when the player attacks or so on. So I love the way that these came out, and I love the deformity with the fact that his one arm is big, like Jim bro, and then his one arm is you know, I don't want to be, I'm not going to say that, so I'm just going to write it. Reddit user. And then when he goes aggro, instead of him being that annoying thing where he just spits and he sends this explosive that lands by your feet and then blows up and makes your health go over and over, it was going to be that he could shoot you, but he had to hit you directly, but he would be a charger instead of always ranged, because they are really weak now. So weak that I would imagine that in Dying Light 2, even though they said there were going to be less guns, I didn't know if I would believe that, if that was going to be true. I imagine there'd be more throwing and shooting things, so I thought maybe these things are smart and kind of try to shoot all these boils and things at you while charging you. Because they got rid of the bomber, which I don't know if that is true. It seems like they did. I haven't played the game yet. I might play the game actually very soon, but I'd never play things that are brand new. I really do like the way this came out. It does look hectic, and it does look aged a bit, to be fair. The way I've done these is a little less, I mean, I wouldn't draw them like that anymore. They look a little bit cheap, but I I mean, this was pretty impressive for me back then. I love the way that it's like, it's literally like you're witnessing like like a person decay. And I do love the fact that even his arm and his feet have these like disfigured like proportions. I mean, this foot even has the veins. Man, how did I do that? That's actually really impressive, considering my art level back then. These were some of the most important pieces of art I've ever made, and I really do owe Techland, or Dying Light 1, a lot in terms of really pushing me, because before I made these pieces, it wasn't that I was getting or giving up on art. It was more that I had been doing art for so long, and I just felt like I was so close to like feeling sure that I was good at art, but I just didn't, like, I had never made a piece of personal art that I was like, wow, that's really good. And these pieces really allowed for me to explore without worry of that. I wasn't worried about not making something unique or not, drawing it perfectly, because I was like, well, I don't need to draw it perfectly. It's not what's in my head. It's already an idea, and I can adapt it and just be fine with it. Because as you will find out when I show and start making the videos for Baron, which will hopefully be higher quality and as good as I can make them, I am a perfectionist a little bit, and I think all artists strive to make the best art they can. But yeah, I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and with Baron, these pieces help me a lot in knowing my limits, knowing what I'm good at, and helping me realize that I can learn fast. Because if I didn't do these pieces, I think if I try to start doing Baron, I would have just given up. And there is actually some art I did for another project that ended up failing because I wasn't ready yet. Other than that, I'm really happy with these pieces. I think they've aged amazingly, and I'm actually surprised that that old Keegan managed to make these. They look pretty good, and overall I'm really proud of them. I think my favorite feature about these guys is the fact that I was thinking in my head of new gameplay ideas to at least try to alleviate player stress and stop players finding them aggravating, because I think the best thing about Dying Light 1 was the fact that I was always having fun. I found the story quite poor. I think a lot of people will admit that that wasn't the reason people love it, obviously, but I just loved the fact that it was one of the only games at the time, and actually one of the only games since that I can think of, where it kind of felt like an arcade game, where when I was younger and I would play games, because I couldn't always access games where I used to live in South Africa, that was just about fun. You know what I mean? Like, remember when games were just about like a laugh and having fun? It felt like that to me. Like, I could play that game for like 4 hours, probably even 6 hours, when I was like 12 and 14, and just go to that bridge, that iconic bridge. If you guys know, I'll put it up, and just go slashing down this bridge for fucking hours. And I used to have such a laugh. I mean, I probably dropped like a million zombies, and I probably in total have about maybe 2,000, maybe 3,000 hours on the game, if I'm being honest, because I played it on PlayStation 4. I played it on my next console, which I think I had to get another PlayStation because the other one broke. I can't remember. I feel like I switched consoles or accounts, and then I got a PC and I played it on PC, and then I played it on PC again. Yeah, I've played this game a lot, and I always go back to it because it is, like I said, one of the few games where I just put it on and was like, wow, this is stupid, and I love it. I do hope the second one is like that. I wonder if the toad is still in the game, and I will do a section on that. I'll hopefully cut to it, or I'll just show you guys now. Okay, so, oh, they actually do look pretty cool, to be honest. Damn, I like the... They've kind of got the boils, but they have them on their chest. I'll put the picture up. And they kind of have them, like, on their... They kind of, like, have a skull face. It almost looks weirdly like, tribal art, where they have the... Like, that, like, this. And then they have, obviously, like, the mouth. And then, like, the creepy mouth, and then, you know, the tribal headgear. That also kind of looked like I drew a, you know. Let's see. Why is there no... There's only a tiny amount of pictures on here. Oh, found the concept art. There you go, that's better. Ooh, these guys look cool. Wow. Is this real or is this fan art? No, this is real. Wow. Okay, that gets a plus from me. I was kind of disappointed with the drowners in the last episode when I saw what they look like, because I thought they looked fucking boring, to be honest. These guys look cool. I hope you enjoyed the video. Honestly, overall, I am very happy with these, and on to the next one. I think that the toads were probably my least favorite thing from Dying Light 1, so I'm okay with them being gone, and I hope that they're really cool in the new game.